Hello everyone, my name is Mayela. I am the face and artist behind the Instagram of Mayela Artistry, and today I'm going to be teaching you on how to create this Day of the Dead look. I did half and half of a white traditional blank canvas and one with just skin. So keep on watching to see how to create this Day of the Dead skull. Along this video, I will be talking about some of the history and meaning behind Dia de los Muertos, and yeah, I hope you guys like it. Let's start from the beginning. What is Dia de los Muertos? Dia de los Muertos, also known as Day of the Dead, is a Latin American tradition celebrated by many countries, but its origin is based out of Mexico. The Spaniards learned about this holiday when they arrived in central Mexico in the 16th century. They viewed this ritual, which was started by the Aztecs some 3,000 years ago, as sacrilegious, but the festival couldn't be squashed. Not only did it survive, but it thrived, moving from southern Mexico and spreading north. It also merged with elements of Christianity. Originally celebrated in the summer, it moved to November 1st and 2nd to coincide with All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. Dia de los Muertos is a holiday celebrated on the 1st of every November where families pay tribute to their deceased loved ones. Just how Americans may visit a loved one on their birthday or even on a special holiday, Latinos have one whole day dedicated to their deceased loved ones. Instead of mourning the loss of their loved ones, they see it as an opportunity to celebrate the life that they had lived. Dia de los Muertos is a celebration of expression in many ways. Not only is it dedicated to remembering and honoring those loved ones who have passed, it's centrally focused on the artistic expression of the living through the creation of ofrendas, costumes, cooking, and other tokens and offerings. They celebrate with food, drinks, parties, and having overall fun. One of the staples to the Day of the Dead is having an ofrenda. The word ofrenda means offering in Spanish. They are also called altares or altars, but they are not for worship. Ofrendas are set up to remember and honor the memory of their ancestors. Before setting an altar, they thoroughly clean their house. We must remember that they are going through very important visitors. The ofrenda is set on a table covered with a fine tablecloth, preferably white. Then, the papel picado, cut tissue paper, is set over the cloth. Several levels can be set on the ofrendas. Generally, on the top level, the images of saints and the crucifix are set. For each deceased relative, a candle is lit. Their light is thought to guide them on their way back. The light of the candles, also called ceras, which are waxes, symbolize Jesus Christ reborn and their faith. Flowers are also placed and scattered. Flowers represent the quality of their life. Another thing to add is salt and water. These are essential. They are set to quench the thirst of their souls, tired from their long trip. Water also purifies and cleanses. Incense is burned and thought to elevate prayers to God. Don't forget, pictures of the deceased are placed on the ofrenda as well. Some of their favorite clothing, perhaps a hat or a shawl, and for their children, they can place small toys. Food is specially prepared for the souls. Their preferred dishes are cooked for them and placed on the altar. Some of these may include mole, tamales, fruits, arroz rojo, hot chocolate, and dried fruit. Sometimes they even put out a special bread called pan de muerto. And we cannot forget about sugar skulls called calaveras. Did you know that in many towns there are contests of ofrendas? Judges go house by house and elect the 3 most beautiful altars. Ofrendas are works of art. Now, you may be asking yourself, why am I painting an anatomically incorrect skull? And the answer to that is, I am replicating a calavera, also known as a sugar skull. During the Day of the Dead, people will dress up in bright, colorful clothing, paint their faces with different types of makeup, bring flowers, and eat abundant amounts of delicious foods. Some of those foods include what is known as a calavera. A calavera is a representation of a human skull. The term is most often applied to edible or decorative skulls made from either sugar or clay that are used in the celebration of the Day of the Dead. Now, why are these skulls decorated with little icing details instead of just being the mold of the skull? Is it only so that they look cute instead of creepy? Well, not exactly. These skulls are decorated with icing details instead of just being the mold of the skull because we want to celebrate their life, not mourn it. They should be decorated with bright icing and shiny colored foil to simulate all of their wonders of their life. Here are some fun facts that you may have not known. Number 1. Day of the Dead is not Mexican Halloween. Contrary to what is often portrayed in popular culture, the Day of the Dead is not Mexico's version of Halloween. Even though they fall around the same time of the year and have some similarities, the two are different holidays with separate origins and unique traditions. Halloween has its origins in the Celtic Harvest Festival, while Day of the Dead is rooted in the ancient religious traditions of Mesoamerica's indigenous population. Halloween, as it is practiced today, involves trick-or-treating, wearing costumes, and decorating pumpkins. Day of the Dead traditions involve none of those things. In Halloween, spirits are seen as scary or something to be warded off. Day of the Dead focuses on receiving the souls of the dead relatives with joy and hospitality. Fun fact number 2. Humor has played an important role in the holiday. Given that Day of the Dead is a festivity, it has become common to interject classic Mexican humor to add to the lightheartedness of the occasion. Day of the Dead art often features skeletons drinking, dancing, and celebrating, and these skeletons are often placed in humorous situations. Since the 19th century, the holiday has become synonymous with the art of Mexican cartoonist Jose Guadalupe Posada, who created quirky skeleton-based art and characters, including the iconic La Catrina. Fun fact number 3. It is customary to visit cemeteries. A central part of the holiday involves going to the cemetery and spending time at the graves of loved ones. In preparation for Day of the Dead, families will clean and wash the graves of their departed and decorate them with candles and flowers such as marigolds. They will bring offerings of food that the deceased enjoyed and objects that were meaningful to them in life. In the case of children, toys will be brought to the gravesite. In many parts of the country, families will share a meal alongside the graves of their relatives while sharing stories and memories about the loved ones that they lost. And here are the final results of a painted calavera. I hope that you enjoyed watching the process of how to make a calavera on yourself. But most importantly, I hope that you learned something new about Dia de los Muertos. Go out and celebrate.